Well, bullying, it's nothing new, but it's not just happening in school hallways anymore. As technology expands, so do the opportunities to harass children. The mother of a teenage daughter who committed suicide after online bullying has made it her mission to warn parents about the dangers of some social networking sites. She recently spoke to a group of parents in Prattville.
Tina Meier is a national spokesperson, but 4 years ago, she was just a typical mother of a teenage daughter. But all that changed in 2006 when her daughter took her own life, the victim of a bully on the internet.
The entire world is in their bedrooms.
Turns out the bullying boy on the MySpace site was really a friend's mother. The story generated a huge amount of national attention. Since then, Tina Meier has been on a mission to protect other children from cyber bullies.
If your child is going through these situations at school and they're getting bullied consistently, they're being cyberbullied in school, you have to continue to fight, because these children cannot put up the fight anymore.
Reminds me a lot of myself.
Angie Dubose has a 13-year-old daughter, the same age Megan Meier was when she committed suicide. Dubose was one of many parents who packed Prattville's First United Methodist Church to hear Meier speak.
And I want to go home and shut down her website right now. I do.
Meier's visit comes just after a controversial website, Campus Gossip, added a page for Prattville High School, the only high school on the site. Recent posts included sexual and racist remarks. Prattville's principal, Lee Hicks, hopes students will learn a lesson from Meier's story.
If at least one student learns from this, and then it's worth it.
We can prevent this from happening to anybody in our school.
Miss Fountain City, Jessica Brookshire, organized that meeting. Jessica, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Very few dry eyes in the house that night.
Yeah.
Why did you want to bring Tina Meier to Prattville?
Well, you know, I was bullied as a child. I moved out, moved on, grew up, and I didn't really give myself credit for what I went through. When the Megan Meier story broke in 2006, it hit me very, very hard. I followed the story very closely, and she kind of became my beacon for my cause, for karma.
And tell us, you have something here, and it's helps Megan's memory live on.
What we're doing is, similar to the AIDS quilt, we are starting a karma quilt, and Tina Meier was generous enough to provide me. The stripes here are Megan's actual shirt. She gave me one of Megan's shirt and her picture, and we monogrammed it with her birth and death dates and her name, and Megan's going to be the cornerstone of the karma quilt. We're hoping that it doesn't have to get any bigger than it already is.
As you mentioned, this is a cause close to your heart.
Yes.
Looking at you, it's hard to imagine anyone would make fun of this.
Thank you.
Why were you made fun of?
I was made fun of, you know, it didn't matter what I did. If they wanted me to wear a blue shirt and I wore it, it wasn't the right color blue. I was a cheerleader. I dated the football players. I was friends with the cheerleaders. I was in the popular crowd. I was smart. I got made fun of for being short, ugly, freckles, my teeth, my hair. It didn't matter. It was always something.
I was also made fun of as a child. I struggled with weight. I was an overweight child, and I remember being made fun of, and everyone would always tell me, this will make you stronger. And it did. But when you're 12, 13, 14, it's here and now.
Right.
You can't seem to get past that. How do you educate children to say, you will be stronger, you will get through this?
Well, you know, that's really difficult, because when you go to a school, about half the children there have coping skills, and they say, well, I don't care what anybody says to me, and they may not. And then the other half internalize it, and it hurts, like I did. And for those, you just have to reach out. It's all about open lines of communication, being there for them, being that voice of reason. And I know that if I had seen somebody like me standing up at the front of the room and saying, I used to get bullied too, and now I'm in Miss Alabama, it would have been very different for me.
And you're working on some legislation right now with a lawmaker. Tell us about that, what you hope to accomplish with it.
Well, we are making great strides. I'm so excited. So what I'm working on is legislation to protect the victims and to provide consequences for the bullies. And more than anything, it's somewhere for the educators to turn, because as it stands right now, it's all on teachers and schools, and they have nowhere to turn when their policies fail or when their policies don't work. They have nowhere to turn for guidance on their policies. I'm hoping this legislation will provide an outline for school policies as well as an outline for consequences should a child be deemed a bully.
We have parents watching this right now, maybe some students, because it is spring break. What should they do if their child is being bullied?
If your child is being bullied, you should absolutely keep open lines of communication. Make it known to your child that you understand. And it's hard to understand what kids go through, because I know that bullying now is worse than what I went through, and what I went through is worse than what my parents went through. It's very difficult for parents to understand. But open lines of communication, making sure your child talks about it. Don't allow them to internalize their feelings. The feeling of loneliness is the worst part of bullying, and that's what we want to avoid.
And quickly, on the other side, if you are the parent of someone who is doing the bullying, what should you tell your child?
That's a parent's responsibility to step in and explain to your child that the world is based on how we interact with one another. It's all about human interaction, interpersonal skills, and just being nice to one another.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Jessica.
Thank you.
Good luck in Miss Alabama.
Thank you.